Hey everybody, my name's Derek Peterson. I'm the founder and CEO of OneWay.com. In this video, I don't really like doing videos, but I've just been so angered of late with all of this censorship that's taking place, but not so much the censorship has me mad. That's kind of expected from the kind of folks we're dealing with. It's the response to the censorship that's really got me mad. Response from people that should all have enough common sense to know better than to do the kind of things that they're doing. So we all know, first of all, just let me review for those who don't understand what's going on right now. Right now on the internet, all the big techs, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, even Reddit, all of them basically are censoring conservatives and Christians. Pretty much, I mean, it's become pretty over the top, even on really minor sorts of things. But now even liberals are getting censored, which makes me really nervous that this is a setup. And so first, let me start off by telling you a little story. There was a great church, great ministry down in Texas, South Texas, decades ago that ran children's homes for troubled teens. And people came from all over the world to go there. And the pastor there that ran the ministry was an amazing, godly man. And the kids would come in there literally like drug addicts and I mean, prostitutes and murder. I mean, you name it. It was a rough group of kids. And they would go out of that place completely changed, transformed by God and through this ministry and through the relationships they made there. Great family men and women and pastors and missionaries and just successful business people. It was a very successful ministry, and it was growing. They were reproducing themselves in other parts of the country and of the world. And anyway, one day what happened was the Moonies were really popular back in the day. There were these weirdos who used to hang out in airports and hand people flowers and stuff and try to get money and try to sucker guys into the cult with a bunch of cute girls. And they decided they were going to move to Texas and set up a bunch of communes there. And so all the conservatives, all the Christians said, oh, we got to stop this from happening. We got to pass some legislation, pass some laws, and make the government prevent them from being able to set up these communes to protect us and our society from these people. So all the conservatives got all up in arms. They're going to do something and fight for this. And so, to their surprise, all the liberals joined in with them, and they were like, "Oh, great, okay." So these guys have finally come to see the light, and they're with us. That's great. Let's fight this together. And so they get all these laws written up and laws passed, and sure enough, they got the law passed, and they kept the Moonies from coming in. The Moonies weren't allowed to set up shop there. They had to go someplace else. But what do you suppose happened? Within weeks of those laws going through and the Moonies getting booted, guess what happened? The liberals, your new friends, turned those laws around on us and threw out this wonderful ministry that was helping tens of thousands of kids, indirectly, and shut them down. And then they went after all the other homes, and pretty much everything that wasn't 100% state, total regulated, they shut it down. Okay? And that's what happens when the government gets involved, folks. Right now, it breaks my heart to say this. I love Alex Jones. I love InfoWars, listened to him for a long time. But it breaks my heart to hear Alex Jones saying that we need to regulate the internet, that Twitter should be considered a utility. Twitter is not a utility. Twitter is a joke. Twitter wouldn't even exist right now if Donald Trump didn't get elected and all the moron conservatives went on there to fight with the liberal morons and generate a bunch of money for them. Every time you go onto Twitter and make a post, log in, you're earning these scumbags money. You understand that? You are the problem. You are the one that's causing the problem, okay? And it kills me to hear Alex Jones saying, we need to have the government regulate these guys. They need to be called a utility. What do you suppose is going to happen when we get those laws passed? The same thing that happened to those Christian ministries. They're going to turn those laws on our websites, right? Suppose on oneway.com, I say, I don't want any gay stuff or any tranny stuff anymore. We're not doing that. But suppose I said that, right? I am going to get forced to have this gay and tranny stuff on my website. Okay, any public website now is going to get forced to have this content on there because of these stupid ideas that people are pushing right now. Okay, I get content creators like Alex Jones and a bunch of other great content creators being upset and frustrated because their livings depend on it. Because YouTube, they partnered with the devil, and their income's coming from YouTube and from Twitter and from Facebook and things like that. And now all of a sudden their income's getting cut. Listen, you shouldn't have partnered with the devil. The Bible's very clear on that in the first place. Don't partner with evil people. Okay. But anyway, I get these content creators. Okay. I did it. I lost a company years ago because Google changed their algorithm in a day. And I went from about 20,000 organic visitors a day to about 2, literally. I mean, it was crazy. And I don't know if I was specifically targeted or not, but they shut me down like that. So I get it. I understand it. I know where you're coming from. But this idea of having the government regulate the internet is not the answer, folks. Okay? It is not even close to the answer. I get these content creators doing that in their fear for making an income. Some of the, I mean, Alex Jones is going to starve to death, right? But some of these other companies are going to, some of these guys, these independent guys, they got to pay rent. So of course they're upset, right? I mean, look what this crazy girl just did recently out at the YouTube headquarters, right? I mean, she was upset. She was crazy, but she's upset. What really frustrates me is when I see some of these other alt tech CEOs, right, so-called, demanding for the government to regulate the internet. Okay, that I don't get at all. That I'm just like, are you kidding me? Listen, if an alt tech CEO is calling for the government to regulate the internet, they are not alt tech. They're small tech that wants to be big tech. And they know in their heart of hearts that they don't have the ability to compete with big tech unless they get a little help, right? That's why they're doing it. They don't care about what's right and what's good long term for us as individuals or for the internet or for free speech or anything else. They just want to be big. Let me tell you another little story. Back in the 80s and 90s, there was this contemporary Christian singer named Amy Grant, right? She was this cute little boppy Christian girl, so-called Christian girl, that all the guys kind of liked, because she's cute, but she's not like sleazy looking, right? So all the guys kind of get your blood going, but not too much where you're disgusted, right? And so, come to find out though, this girl had always just wanted to be a pop singer. That was her dream since she was a kid. She wanted to be a pop star, but she wasn't good enough to do it. She wasn't able to do it. So what did she do? She was probably a Christian, so somewhat, She branded herself as a Christian singer, Christian contemporary singer, right? And then she got popular because the competition wasn't as steep, and she made it. And she was popular. She tried to switch from being a Christian contemporary to pop singer, but she failed and went back to being a Christian singer, right? Some of these alt tech CEOs, they just want to be tech CEOs that failed, and now their dream is to still be a tech CEO, but they're just using the alt ideas to get there, right? Talk is cheap. And if an alt tech CEO is calling for the government to regulate the internet, they're not alt tech, right? They're wannabe big tech sleazeballs, traitors. Don't listen to them. Don't trust a word they say. Please. Okay? The internet is meant to be free. Websites, individual websites, are private businesses. People can do whatever they want to do, whatever rules they want to set up in that community. That's what should be allowed to happen on those websites. The internet as a whole should be total free speech. Someone wants to build a website and make it only for, 21-year-old black transsexuals. They can do that. That's their right. Everyone else is banned. They have a right to do that. The other thing that broke my heart was hearing Alex Jones talk about that Christian baker saying, oh, they should have baked that cake for those gay people. I'm a libertarian. That's not what a libertarian is. Okay? Free speech is one part of the idea of soul liberty. Soul liberty is the principle that we have a right to do and believe what we want anywhere, anytime we want, with ourselves, with our families, with our bodies, with our businesses. Okay? That baker no more should have had to customize a cake for those sodomites than then I would have to, I would have to take a vaccine, right? To me, it's the same thing. And I mean, if they want to walk in off the street, who knows if they're gay or not? Just buy a cake off the shelf. Fine, come buy a cake. But if you want to customize that cake and make it this and that, then you're partaking in it. They have a right to say no. Okay? That's libertarian. That's libertarian. Okay? Not forcing people to do things that they don't want to do. That's forced, what I call on the internet, I call it forced digital multiculturalism. Okay? You don't have a right to force cultures. People want to segregate sometimes. Okay? It's natural for people to want to segregate. So you want to have your own community here and do this, you have a right to do that. And you can segregate it and say, hey, you don't have a right to come in here. Okay? Our site, we have a much more open policy. But if someone wanted to say, hey, we don't want any of these weirdos coming into our site, they have a right to do that. And I respect them for whatever they want to do. It's their website. Okay? The internet as a whole should be free and open. The only things on the internet that should be utilities are electricity, ISP, and DNS. ISP is your internet connection, and DNS is your domain controls, right? Domain names and such. And credit card processing, if they're federally insured, then they should be, they don't have a right to make these personal decisions, right? Once you're federally insured, you're a quasi-government entity, then guess what? You're a utility now, okay? That's what should happen. That's how it should work. We don't need the government regulating the internet. Who do you think, if you get the government to regulate the internet, to pass these laws, who do you think the government's going to go to say, hey, write us some laws that everyone's going to have to follow? Where do we have any examples of what happens when we do something like that? Maybe healthcare? Who wrote those laws? The insurance companies, the ones we were worried about that were taking advantage of us. Who do you think is going to write these laws? Twitter, Facebook. You want Mark Zuckerberg writing up your community standards that have to be obeyed on every website on the internet? Are you insane? What is wrong with you? This is like the dumbest. It has to be some kind of a setup. People can't be this stupid. It has to be some kind of a setup. And it's really driving me crazy listening to it. And I'm just sitting back here like watching the slow motion train wreck that's about to take out our entire internet, and a bunch of people that should all be screaming against it, and they're all cheering for it, right? We don't need the government breaking up these companies or forcing them to allow our speech on their websites, because we know they're going to force their speech on our websites. All we need is the government not to help these companies, okay? Google, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, these companies are government funded. They might as well just say NSA, CIA, FBI, right on the placards, because that's who gave them all their money. That's who gave them the contracts. Look at the contracts that these guys get for storing data. Look at Amazon's contract they just got, right? That's what needs to get broken up. Just don't allow unfair competition with government partnership. That's called fascism, by the way, right? Corporatism. So that's all we need to do is just say, government, you can't help these companies anymore. And then I don't want to be doing this. I didn't want to launch oneway.com, but we built what is by far the most technically advanced, feature-rich, functionality-rich, alternative social network anywhere on the internet, okay? We're obviously better tech than Facebook because they're old, but we can do more operations per second than Twitter. We'll kill them at scale, okay? And I'm an idiot. There's lots of other people that can do this. I got forced into doing this. I don't want to be doing this at my age. I got other stuff to do, but I did it because I was so ticked off, right? So here's what needs to happen. It's a very simple solution. You don't need to whine. You don't need to cry. You don't need to file lawsuits. You don't need to beg the government to interfere, right? All you got to do is say, I'm going to not ever go on Twitter again. You piece of garbage. I'm never going on Twitter ever again. You little Android, I'm never going back on your stupid little Facebook website again. Okay? That's all you have to do. That's it. And they're dead. Twitter will be dead in 90 days if Donald Trump stopped posting there. Okay? If all the Christians and conservatives and Donald Trump stop posting on Twitter, they will nosedive within 30 days and be dead. Go sign up on oneway.com. Go sign up on minds.com. Go sign up, take your YouTube videos and move them over to BitChute. We have videos too on One Way. We're not as good as BitChute, but go sign up over on BitChute. There's lots of good alternative social networks that are forming right now. Support those and stop whining. Please and please stop begging the government to kill you and our free speech. Don't be naive. Please, I'm begging you. Save the internet, save free speech, save soul liberty. Thank you. I'm Derek Peterson from OneWay.com. Bye-bye.